Welcome. Race, hello. We're going to start it here in just a few minutes. 30 minutes. Welcome to your hour of power. Turn on your belief. Will you turn on your belief with me here on this program? I send you belief on the other side. Will you turn it on for yourself? What will you use with this belief? Coach Santos here, Stockton, California. Welcome to our live podcast. This is number 202. We have Coach Jim with us tonight, and we have a video in the making. So I'm glad you're here. I'm very glad you're here. And I'm going to invite you to challenge us. Bring your question. Bring your pen. Did you invite a friend, by the way? So get ready. Turn on your belief. 45 minutes is going to go by very quickly. We will enlighten you. We will enlighten you. We are broadcasting live via Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. By the way, if you're new, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Support me. We will support you as we continue to grow. And share the feed if you find it beneficial. Share the feed. Leave a comment and always a thumbs up. Please let YouTube know what we're doing, that we're doing the right thing, and we want to stay away from fear of failure. So it looks like Jim is in. And I don't know if we were going to have Mr. Anti-Gambler visit us today, possibly. So Jim is in the house. I'm going to let him open up here in just a minute. Out of time, welcome. Immaculate vibes. Turn on your belief. By the way, gambling is a lie. It'll turn your life into a French fry. Too many of those, it'll make you die. So let go of your pride and step inside. Bring your question challenges. Bring your question challenges, and we'll make this a great hour of power. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Jim has some ideas, a topic, some talking points that he wants to bring up. I'm going to let him kind of begin the program with us today. So the floor is yours there. And I think I'm having problems with the internet again. It looks like we're having problems. That's going to be fixed this week. I will be fixing that this week, Lord willing. I got to get a technician to find out what's going on. So hopefully, yeah. So Jim, welcome. Tucson, Arizona is nice and hot, and Jim's got some hot topics he wants to bring to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. By the way, I'm speaking to LinkedIn. I'm speaking to Facebook. If you're watching us there, come on board. Jump on the camera and bring your question. Raise your belief.
Yeah, Santos. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking about belief, and one of the things that I realize is that we don't really identify the kind of beliefs that we want to have. Subconsciously, we know if we are having challenges. We all have challenges. We all have problems. A lot of our self-belief is not that good. It's negative. There's a lot of can'ts. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'll never become this. I'll never, kick my addiction. And, that's subconsciously rooted in our system, unfortunately. It keeps us safe. It keeps us safe. Why do we say we can't do things? Well, if we try, and we fail, that can be very devastating. It just reinforces something that we don't want to see. And it's a very, very easy thing to do, to have low self-belief. But if we do want to choose, something better, we have to write down, we have to identify, be aware of, what kind of belief do we want? What kind of belief do we want? What do we want to be? What do we want to do? And what do we want to have? Right? I think that's the first step. It's like I want to smash gambling. You know, I don't want this in my life anymore. I believe I can be free of this awful disease. Right? Acknowledging that, okay, but I think it's important to have that as your main goal, but you have to have supporting beliefs. You got to have some supporting beliefs. You have to think about, what can I do right now? What am I confident at doing that can help me get to that main belief, to manifest that main belief? What are the little things that I can do right now? What can I, because look, belief has to be something sincere inside, right? We can't fool ourselves, right? We can say stuff, and I know that, saying stuff, fake it till you make it. I get that. But I think it's important to focus on the things that we believe we can do, that can help lead us uh, to strengthen the belief that we want. And it's the little things. It's like, well, what can I do now? Well, let me go ahead and get onto Soldiers of Self Mastery. Watch some videos. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. I believe I can. Watch some videos. Can I take some notes? Like Santos said. Yeah, I can take some notes. He told me to do some self awareness. Taking notes, journaling, like what you're feeling, throughout the day. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, and you do it, right? It's like, look, I'm taking steps. Wow,
Take
I'm,
action.
I'm, and all of a sudden, the little things that you start doing, you start manifesting that belief, right? That self belief. That's like, you know what? I think I'm moving towards that belief that I want, right? I believe I can kick this thing, right? Taking little steps, little steps. Sometimes I think that we just set ourselves up for failure. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna quit cold turkey. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, right? But without a plan, right? Without anything, and
Yeah.
it's I think that's no good. So we have to figure out the things that we believe we can do at this moment and work on those things.
Well said. And I think one of the cogs that's going to help produce the bigger belief, possibly one of the cogs, is being here. This program is a little bit challenging for me too. Believe me, most people, oh, that program's on again, and some people show up late here. I mean, nobody's obligated to be here, but we're here for a reason, because we're getting something. We're all getting something out of this program. So it could be a little cog in the big picture to produce the bigger belief. You talked about that earlier. You need to find something that's going to trigger. Uh, right? We talked about earlier. We talked about affirmations. Now I have a video I want to play you. Short video here. It's a video about belief, and please watch it with me here. It's just a couple minutes. I believe it'll give you some understanding, a little bit of a greater understanding. We all believe that we know what the word belief means, or believing, or believed. Right? I know what that means. I don't need to read the definition. I think something interesting happens when you go back to the definition. Either it reaffirms what you believe, or it begins to rock your boat a little bit. So turn on your belief with me here. And by the way, I'm looking at your questions, and Jim's going to be talking a little bit more. By the way, this is episode 202, and I do have a proverb. Hey, let me get into the proverb real quick. Can I do that? Can I get your? Did I get you at a bad time? No. Let me read this one. This one's from 1 Samuel chapter 20. This is cool. I like this one. This is King David. David fled from Naioth in Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan. Jonathan's dad was looking for this guy. I believe it was the father. So he says, what have I done? What is mine iniquity? He's searching deep here. This guy, he's looking. What is my sin before thy father, that he seeks my life? What have I done to receive this reward? What sin have I committed to receive such evil? It's a great question. When we go searching ourselves and we find out why we've got some kind of a consequence and we don't like it. I did that 2 years ago. Now, everything in life you pay for. Isn't that real? Somehow, if life has a way of finding you out, man, and it could be 20 years later, 30 years later. It does. Okay, so let me get this video going here real quick. I think it's a cool little video. I know I'm having issues. I apologize for that. Let me see here, share. Okay, let me get back to the StreamYard and see how this looks. Standing belief. Okay. Take a look at this. This is just a couple of minutes. It's kind of interesting.
Its truth. Beliefs are conceptual mental programs within the human ego that create and reinforce positionalities. Cherished beliefs are initially adopted in childhood, programmed into the mind by parents, family, and local society. A belief is entirely conceptual, mental, and intellectual, and is held onto through faith and trust that one's belief is right and true. Beliefs are the determinants of what one experiences. The ego automatically generates pride and identifies with cherished beliefs, and will often go to extremes to defend them. The ego is ever watchful of every slight, slur, insult, or opposing view. Even if one's beliefs are true, they still create conflict through pride, narcissism, vanity, and judgmentalism. The ego loves to be right and to see others as wrong. To believe that I am going to heaven because of what I believe, and that others are going to hell because they do not believe what I believe, is pure delusion. The greatest spiritual masters of all time all taught to let go of judgments and opinions, for these positionalities are the very foundations of the false self, the ego-thinking mind. Most people are unable to be different than they are because they are run by endless programs and belief systems.
That's kind of interesting right there. We'll watch the rest of it here in a minute, but the more you think of it, you still there, Jim?
Yes.
The more you think about it, by the way, I appreciate the. Let me see, who was it? Yeah, Santos. You have a race says Santos. You have a flip a switch, and I had another gambling coach listen to called. Some point here to decide. Let me see. Make sure I got my thought about belief. Yeah, we're programmed. You're programmed. You're programmed from childhood already, and unless you reprogram, I do not believe that you can deprogram those programs within your spirit and your mind. I believe that you have to put in new programming to override, because the mind doesn't erase any of that, so it's always there. Or can the mind erase it and just operate on the new programming? For instance, by the way, welcome Laura, Ken, Mark. Yeah, if you have a question, please put it there. Ken says Proverbs. I'm doing my best to take you into, I was telling Jim, I'm doing my best to take those of you that are wanting to do this, is to step outside this world that you live in, because this world only revolves around this kind of matrix type of experience. So, how is it that, and I'm not saying, honestly, I could care less to become a multimillionaire today. That's not my fantasy. My desire is to be at peace as much as possible with clarity every single day, because then I can get to the funds or get to the monies that I need. You have to bend. you have to bend reality. You have to step outside of your thinking. You have to step outside of this limited world. And one of the ways, Jim, I'm going to let Jim share here in a minute. He talked about failure earlier, the fear of failure. Why won't you believe, right? Why won't you step into your greatness? Why won't you step away from that gambling that's destroying everything in your life? Fear of failure of success, fear of failure of failure. Is that what you were meaning, Jim, when you said that?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things I'm thinking about. You were talking about we need to get out of the two-dimensional thinking, and you talked. I mean, in the video that you showed involved how we are programmed, okay, early on in life, and in the society that we live in this world, and you know, uh, we are programmed to be dependent upon the external, right? Other people's judgments, society, how we perform in comparison with other people. We're programmed, you know, and um, it's a huge mountain to climb if you really want to uh, develop confidence in yourself. Um, when you're constantly bombarded with criticisms, judgments, negativity, looking at yourself and seeing, how you're doing compared to what everyone looks at, the attractive things, and you constantly look at yourself and you're failing, you know, and we're programmed, and it's like a lot of times that we say, I don't want to even try because I'm gonna set myself up for failure, and it's just going to be another reminder to me that I'm just a loser. I'm never going to get out of my addiction. I was listening to the pastor Charles Stanley. I think he's an excellent pastor. I think In Touch Ministries, and he was talking about
Mhm.
how people are wealthy because they have God inside them. And what is God? I mean, I think God is that force that allows us to get outside of the two dimensions that we're living in, right? I mean, right? It's like there's light, there's words, there's different perspectives. We don't have to accept looking at the world in two dimensions. We don't have to accept saying that I'll never, you know, kick my addiction, destroy my addiction. You know, we can accept. We can go out and stand from a different perspective, a different place, and see. Yes, I can see myself. You know, ignoring what's in the outside world. The outside world is corrupt. The outside world is evil, and we're just blindsided and programmed, unfortunately. And if we can go and just look from within and have faith and have that belief that we have that power, we are wealthy, we have the ability, to go where we want to go and be what we want to be. We don't have to
Mhm.
accept the nonsense. We don't have to accept the negative self-talk.
We don't. We don't. You're right. We don't. We can snap out of a lot of things if we want to. I believe that once you start really focusing on bending reality and turning on belief, you step out of this thinking that we're in. It's like most people see the problem. You show them the solution, they're going to see the problem. You have to be willing to look for the solution within the problem. You have to be able to identify that immediately. I come across people all the time. All they focus on is on the problem. And it's sad because I make statements to these individuals and I can tell that it went right over their head. They had no clue what I said because I'm thinking outside of this two-dimensional world. I believe that if you want to get away from problem gambling fast and fun, or any kind of addiction that you want, depends if you want it. We talked about what you want, right, Jim? It's what you want. You got to identify what you want. Turning on belief is going to do it for you. You must find a way. You must find a way to focus on belief. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go back. You got something you want to share? We'll go back to finishing this video real quick. We've got numbers growing here on the live feed, which is cool. I like that. And time is going by, 21 minutes. Again, folks, we're here to raise. I appreciate that. Was it Ken or Out of Time? We're here to raise belief. And however I can do it to support you on the other side, that's what I'm going to do. If I got to play a game and convince you that is a game, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to give up, because that's the thinking outside this world, right? This world is, you'll try 3 times and then, I tried, man. You hear somebody say, man, you know what? I tried 1,000 times. No, you didn't. You tried 4. We exaggerate. We don't know clarity. Man, I tried 4 times. Okay, well, the last time that you tried, where did you miss the mark? Have you looked at that? Are you keeping your log so you can monitor what it is that's going on? There it is, the log again, right? Journaling. You got something you want to share real quick?
Yeah, I mean, bending reality, looking at things differently, and not be so caught up on what's outside. I mean, we talk about the things that, reaching our goals. How can we be better than ourselves yesterday? Forget about everything and everyone else. How can we just focus on ourselves and kind of ignore all the comparisons, that are outside? I think looking for the solutions within it is what we need to do, and having that choice of believing that we can find solutions. We're talking about affirmations earlier, right? I think it's powerful to say, I believe I can, and fill in the blank, and like I said before, start with the little things. Start with the things that you know that you can do, and say it out loud. I believe I can watch some videos. I believe I can take some notes, and it starts the ball rolling.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the question. By the way, I appreciate all the questions here. I know there's a lot of comments being, but Santos, what do you mean when you refer, if you want to play the game? I'm inviting you to play a game, right? Now think about what I'm saying there. I'm inviting you to play a game. We're all actors. We're all acting. You just got to get better at your acting. In fact, you can get so good at acting that you might get paid for it. Some people do, right? We know paid actors. I'm acting right here. Am I like this all the time? Well, I am who I am, but I'm not excited. I don't go around excited all the time. I scare people off. People don't want to be around too many excited people. Some. So when I say play the game with me, turn your life into like a game and just ask yourself, okay, how can I play this into a game where I could win? Because if you're playing a game and you know the rules and you're better than the other players, right? If you know the rules real well, you're typically going to be the winner. And we're talking about the rules of your life. What it is that you desire, where you want to go. These environments that you'd like to create. We have to create environments.
Yes.
I remember when I was a child, and I got to get back to this. I remember when I was a child, when I was probably about 5, 6, 7, I started creating my own imaginary world because I didn't like the home. I didn't understand my dad, and I really didn't understand my mother. I really didn't know who they were. I grew up in a difficult environment, so I created my own world, my own imaginary world to survive. And I lived in that world for many years, and sometimes I still feel like I live in that world, but I'm bringing that imagination back into my life, because as a child, you can live in that world of imagination and you can create really great things for yourself or for others. But what happens as you begin to grow as a child and as an adult, you get shot down, right? You fail. You get around people that are not really conducive to good energy for you. So you just begin to go down a path and you lose your imagination. You can't even visualize anymore. So you're just bouncing around like a pinball, bing, 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 taking orders from this job. You don't do so good at this job. You go to the next, or you get a relationship, female related. You don't do so good there. So you go look for another one. And you're just back and forth, back and forth. All of that from childhood rearing. And then you know, am I getting mixed up here? You want to overcome all of that. You got to override all of that. And you can by bringing back that childhood faith. That's the goal here. That's the game, I guess. If anything, it's like instead of us being like growed up, GROWED, growed, you know, people, adults are all grown up. No, we need to become like children. We need to believe. Let me get back to this real quick. Jim, you wanted to share something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like if you're going to talk about a game, remember to focus on yourself. It's like, you know what? Let's make this a game. I want to go ahead and save, $100. I usually blow $100, every Friday or Saturday or whatever, weekend, whatever, right? Let me go and see what happens. If I can save $100, wake up, I win. I'm going to write that down. That's going to be my scorecard. I'm going to go and tally that. It's like, geez, I got that done. It's like, what else can I do? Like games, right? Football, basketball, they can have a game plan, right? You have a game plan. Okay. All right. So you got, our opponent is the casino, let's say, that's the bad guy right there. It's like, how do I beat that guy? Well, it's like, what's kind of some strategies? You know what? Every time I go down the freeway, there's that big casino billboard, and it reminds me and it triggers me. You know what? I'm not going to take that road. I'm not going to take that road. I'm going to go and take a detour. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm going to execute this game plan, right? And you take the detour. Maybe you go a couple extra miles, right? It's like, shoot, I won. I didn't go. It's like, yeah, you feel good when you win, write it down. It's like, yes, another win. Yeah. It's like, what other ways, it's like this, like, what else? What else can I do? It starts creating these ideas of becoming, a bigger winner. It's like, what other games can I play in my life? It's like, well, getting out of debt, it's like, I hate paying those bills, those credit card bills. What can I do to beat those guys? I mean, get excited, get pumped up, I mean, make it like a game, because games are supposed to be fun, right? Make life fun. We have a choice of making it fun, right?
Yeah, and that's what this is all about. Lately, I've been thinking because addiction. We can talk about addiction. I was listening to a program the other day, and you can listen to addiction. Why we can say it's hard. Addiction is hard. We can use all of those words. We can. You can play that game, but why not play the game and say, hey, why not create new beliefs? Addiction is fun. No, addiction. Well, new addiction can be fun, right? I'm addicted to karaoke, man. I got a little bit of a problem with karaoke, doing too much singing on TikTok. That's not too bad. I can control it. So, man, I got distracted there with a thought. I want to get back to this belief video. Again, the goal is to develop belief. The goal is to play the game, create the game we've been talking about. This is a game. Life is kind of like a game. Unless you want to take it seriously, you can take it. You have choices. You can play the game. You don't have to play the game. You can take it seriously. You can enjoy yourself. You could be angry all the time. You could be at peace, right? You could look for the solution, or you can always stare at the problem. We got to get out of this two-dimensional thinking. Let me get back in here, finish this up. We got another minute or two.
Spiritual seekers must recognize that the ignorance of the human ego and its susceptibility to dualistic programming is the only real problem with the world. People believe what they believe because of causes and conditions, beyond what the human mind can fathom. It is best to generate compassion for all those dominated by limiting belief systems and ignorance, and to endeavor to undo the dualistic programs of one's own mind. Doing so will raise one's level of consciousness and raise the level of consciousness of all mankind.
Others.
The disassembly of every belief system will eventually lead to the question of what holds to that position. What is it that believes it? And what is it that chooses it and becomes run by it? The belief that one is the thinking mind obscures the realization of one's true self, the reality of the oneness of all that is.
All right. Well, that was a good little short video. Again, if you to watch that video again 2 or 3 times will help give some understanding and clarity. It's not one. The Bible is the Bible. I believe the Bible holds the key to truth. But when it comes to physical living, you and I, it's the way we perceive. Right? If you perceive something as being hard, that's your perception. You're going to accept that. That's what you'll talk about. I used to be that way, and I'm realizing, Santos, you don't have to talk that way. Well, therapists talk that way, psychologists talk that way. Well, let them do it. You do something different. Create belief. Who says that you can't do this, right? Who says that you can't turn things around through belief and encouraging believing in others and creating an environment also that helps you believe? That's why I always say, I send you belief on the other side. Now you might be thinking, that's BS. That's crazy. Well, you might think that. That's what you might believe. But somebody else on the other side might say, you know what? I'm going to play your game, Santos. I'm going to receive your belief. And I'm going to start thinking about belief, and I'm going to see what it does to me. I'm going to see what it does to my thinking. That's why I say play the game, because it is a game. All right. Amen's here. All right. We are going up and down, and we've got a little bit of the program left. I'm actually going to be leaving at about 45 minutes. Not 45, we're 33 minutes, so another 10 minutes or so. Jim, go ahead and share what's on your mind.
Yeah, Santos, you were talking about in your childhood, you took advantage of your imagination, right, to kind of recreate your reality, in a tough situation. But imagination can go both ways, unfortunately, if we let it. We can imagine the worst in our life and in the world, right? Basically, I guess you can say belief is imagination, right? And if we don't take control of our imagination and push it in the right direction, direct it, take control of it, it's just going to lead us down, just chaos, negativity, just a bad place. And we can take advantage of our imagination to imagine something better. If we take imagination and take steps to move toward it, taking action, I think we'll be very surprised of what we will actually see. I remember Charlie Sheen. You remember that crazy time, Charlie Sheen? I know he's a goofy guy. He's kind of a messed up guy, but I remember he talked about winning. I'm gonna win in every single moment. Winning, winning, winning. It's like he was able to imagine in every situation, even though that he got fired from 3.5 Men or 2.5, whatever that show was, right? He didn't care, because he's winning. He said that I'm winning. I'm winning. He looked at the situation differently than everyone else was telling him. Oh, you lost your job. You got fired. What are you talking about, man? I'm winning. I'm winning. And if we had that kind of ability to just push away, all that the world's negativity and imagine, where
And
we
we
can
do.
you know I
And
mean,
we
it's
do.
powerful. It's powerful to go ahead and have that kind of that attitude and feeling. It's like that the worker ant. Gonna go around, above, below. I don't care if you put your foot in front of me. I'm gonna find a
And
way.
it looks like he's overcome his addiction. That he's had problem. It looks that way. But that's good that you brought up Charlie Sheen, because I remember watching him, and I would say to myself, man, this guy's in another realm. He's in another dimension.
Yeah,
He's in his own dimension of reality and warlords and uh, uh, what was it, dragon blood,
yeah,
lion's blood,
yeah. Right.
and but he was playing his game to keep himself on the path. That's what he's doing. And most people that are very, very successful today, especially financially, they're almost crazy, like, to a certain degree. They are. When you listen to these, like, if you were to talk to like a billionaire about finances and stuff, you think to yourself, man, this guy's on another planet. What? And we're sitting here, we're concerned about making $3,000, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. These guys are making hundreds and thousands of millions a month. That's a whole different mindset, and we can do this for ourselves. That's why I invite you to play the game. Find a game within yourself. Uh, I'm not sure if it was Ken out of time he was asking. Yeah, Tiger Blood. Within yourself, you have an enemy, or you can tame that enemy. You can let that enemy destroy you and everything in its path, or you can tame it. Dr. Peter Jordan, he says, you know what? Build up that monster inside you and then contain it. Dan Green, he wrote the 48 Laws of Power. He talks about the same thing, build up that monster inside you, then tame it. Problem is, most people build up the monster and that's all they do. They build up the monster. And then the monster gets, has its way, not in a good way. Elon Musk, yeah, look at these individuals, and yet we can go into that kind of thinking in our own world and create games and build things. In fact, Jim and I were talking about this mastermind that we're working on. We don't know where it's going to go, but we're working on it. It's kind of in the imagination state right now, but he's got some good points. We're putting it together and see. Maybe you guys might be wanting to be part of that. What if there's a way that we can help you take your thinking faster up to another level, right? If there was a way, this podcast can only do so much, but what if there was a more personal program that could help all of us take it faster? There is. We got to find it. We got to fund it. By the way, it is almost time here. If you're new, make sure that you're Soldier Scribe. Please do that. Support this mission. If I'm supporting you, if you feel like I'm supporting others around the world, donate financially. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $100,000. Please support this mission if you feel supported. And always remember to share, leave a comment, a thumbs up. That helps the algorithm. And we're always here on Sundays. That's for sure. I'm getting ready to my call to action. Hopefully, I'm going to challenge one or two of you to take this on if you're not doing it. Jim spoke about it earlier. I'm going to bring it back as a call to action to help you begin building your belief, playing this game, bending reality, stepping out of this two-dimensional realm that we're thinking of. Santos, this all sounds crazy, like what do you call it? Twilight Zone kind of stuff. Kind of, yeah. That's what makes it fun, is getting there and then growing through the process. Anyhow, once again, shout out to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I send you belief. Don't can it, don't bag it, don't box it, don't keep it in your pocket. Take action. All right, Jim, I'm going to give you here a few minutes. We're almost done with the broadcast.
Yeah.
And,
I just one extra thing is like if you had a hard time in your past, if you made mistakes, you know, you can believe, you can say to yourself, I'm not my past. I'm not my past. I'm right here. I mean, this is the present. This is who I am. I'm not my past. The past happened, before. I made some mistakes, but I'm not my past, and that's not going to dictate me to where my future is going.
Mhm.
You know. So if you're holding, if that past is crawling on your back, all those problems that you had, all those mistakes, you know, make a decision, and dump all that baggage, and believe that you're not that person. you know you're better than that. And it starts now. All right, you got the present, you have your belief, you can choose your belief, you know and you can take action towards working towards where you want to go, what you want to believe. You have a choice. You have a choice. And no one can tell you except yourself what to believe.
That's right. Somebody, that's a good word, right? Nobody can tell you. Nobody, like when I thought about, fake it till you make it. Jim, the only people that are faking it, they're not going to make it. You have to be sincere. If you are faking it till you make it, it's because you're sincere, right? You practice something because you're sincere. I started calling myself Soldier of Self Mastery because I'm sincere. I want to support you on the other side. There's an obligation. Remember the Spider-Man movie? With much power comes great responsibility. With great responsibility comes great power. But you can only create that in the imagination of your world, of your mind, to bring it into the world. Whatever you think up here, whatever you think of here, there's a strong possibility that you can bring it out into the physical realm if you can think it. If you can't really think it, you're never going to bring it out into the physical realm. So that's why I say play the game. Let's change the belief about addiction. I believe it can be fun. I believe it is fun currently. I believe moving into recovery is fun. It can be fast. It is fast. And not only is it doable, but it could be permanent too. You decide. So out of we're getting ready to end here. Just an example here. I'm gonna challenge you to write your own affirmation. Take one or two affirmations. Today I will rise to reach higher. Reading from the 15-minute mornings book, Breakfast of Champions here. Today I will rise to reach higher and play greater. I will reflect on great thoughts. I will speak positive words. And my behavior will inspire humanity around me to be their best. That's a good affirmation. Here's another one. Today I will focus on my best opportunities. Today I will focus on my best opportunities. I will have the discipline. Discipline isn't a bad word, by the way. Discipline could be a game word. Wow, a lot of stormy weather out here in California. I will have the discipline to stay away from unnecessary things that try to get my attention. The more you remind yourself, I've said this many times, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. For some reason, I think it's my camera. Something's going on here. But we're going to be ending here. Let me see. Why is it doing this? I don't get it. There we go. It's weird how the system operates. Anyways. Hey, why don't I just disappear myself? Why not? On live air. There we go. And I'm gone just like that. I'll be back. Uh, there we go. See, there's my green screen. So you see the whole works behind this whole chemistry. Anyways, okay. I'm having a bit of an issue with the camera, so I'm going to let that go. All right, we're coming to the close. We're going to be back here. I challenge you to create an affirmation for yourself. Raise your belief. Begin to believe in yourself. Start focusing on the word belief, believing, believed, believing. So, City by the Bay. Anything else, Jim, you want to share before we get off the air? How will
Yeah.
I pay? Damn, I lost 1,000 this week and now not sure how I will pay my credit card in a week. Well, you're not sure right now, but you'll come up with an idea because gamblers are very, very smart. Unfortunately, we use our smarts for the wrong things. So you'll overcome this just like you've overcome the last one and the one previous to that. You just have to decide if this is something that you want to continue doing, right? Is this a cycle that you like? Is this a bicycle for you to ride on? If not, you better fold that thing up and you better get a new one. Get an electric one where you're not spending your money. Hopefully, in a serious note, I say that to you. Play the game, brother, because if you don't, you're going to drown in your own cesspool of problems. And that's not fun. Okay, did we finish up, Jim? Did you have something else there you wanted to share?
Yeah, I mean, just keep in mind that what is it? We're going to be moving into May, right? It's going to be the fifth month, so time is passing. Kind of reflect upon what you want to accomplish this week, right? And to push in, the idea of belief, positive self belief. Forget those limiting beliefs. Expand your beliefs about
Yeah,
what you can do. Write them down, and make it a game, set a goal, make a plan, and get excited, right? Get excited about, winning, you know, I think that's what we need to do. We got to get excited about our ability to win. Even if we fall down, we can still win.
that's right. Even if we fall down, we still win. Hey, Tiger Blood, let that be your flood so that you don't stay stuck in the mud, feeling like crud. Your emotional intelligence gone down the hill. Now you need to find a fill. You need to find a new thrill. Maybe you need to start taking some vitamins with krill. No. Okay, that's enough of my rhyming there. Uh, Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you. Support the mission. Please support us as we support you. Ken, thank you for hanging out with us here. Looks like Tristan showed up, Mr. Anti-Gambler. But we're done with the broadcast. Jim, thank you for hanging out with us. Tristan, we'll have to catch you on the rebound, brother. I send you more belief. Play the game. City by the Bay. Race. And let me see, what was it that can you call creditors to allow any more time? Of course you can. Use your imagination. Step outside this thinking. Whatever idea you come up with, try it. The only thing that can happen is it'll fail, right? We failed before, we learn. Mark, there we go. Can you do rapping? Thank you, Mark. And Laura, welcome. Who else was here? Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to LinkedIn. I don't know, LinkedIn is a toughie for me. I don't get too many. Out of time. Thank you for being with us there. Let me see who else was here that I missed. Amen. There we go. Loving the program. Well, I hope you're enjoying it. Let us know if you got ideas, folks. If you got ideas, you got something, share. Send me an email. Say, hey, Santos, have you ever thought about maybe talking about this or this thing or the other thing? Or, hey, Jim, we could do this. Jim might end up running the program himself one of these days if I'm no longer here.
What? I don't know if I can fill those shoes.
Who else? Oh, of course we can. We can play the game, right? All right, folks. I think we've gotten everybody here. There was another, let me see, one more guest. Rock from the Brockton. There we go. We missed him. Good to see you. Good evening. Good to see you, brother. And to the rest of us, hey, let's stay strong. I send you more belief. Don't bag it. Don't can it. Don't box it. Don't put it in your pocket. Take action. I'm going to see you next Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring a pen, bring a friend, invite a friend, and bring your question. That's all I have.
Thank you, Santos. You have a great week.
All right, Jim. We'll be in touch, brother. You too. Thanks for your
Take care.
support, man. And to all
Good
of
night.
you guys, make it happen. Bye-bye.